Hello. No one's yeah. So I guess I better advertise this really quick. I guess I just take this link. I don't know. Pretty weird. All right. Oh, there you go. It already tweeted it to me, or tweeted it for me in some other language. The hell are they thinking? There I am. All right, so no. Here you go. It's pretty cool. 2 viewers. What's up, guys? Yeah, I don't know where I'd find like the. Oh, there you go. All right. See, I've never really done this, so the viewers are gone. There you go. Oh well. So yeah. So I guess I will just start by showing what I got lately. Showing the pickups. That would be nice. Oh, just a second, really quick. I just need to check on Facebook. Okay, maybe not. Haven't gone on Facebook in a while, so I guess that doesn't work now. Very nice. Very nice. All right, there we go. One thing though, let me just check if it's actually streaming. See, you can never tell with these things. Some crazy shit. Technology. All right, we are live. What do you know? It's always nice. Yeah, I should have done this earlier because I'm tired as shit and I can't feel my face. Anyway, yeah, let's get started. I guess it's custom to show off these. I really don't know what I should be doing with these things because they're only useful for the current time, but I mean they're cool to have and look through like the first time you get them, but I mean that's really it, because I mean I'm not going to buy most things. Like if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to be looking it up and researching the prices already, so I really just don't need this. But there are like coupons in here, codes for deals and shit. So, it's nice that they send these. Though I don't think they sent any others after this because I haven't ordered from Right Stuff in a while. I would have, but we'll get into that in a second. But I'll put this down here. Then we got something that's not even anime or manga, but it is somewhat related. So it is Flowers of Evil by Charles Baudelaire. Oh, and in French, since this is a French poetry book, it's Les Fleurs du Mal. Les Fleurs du Mal. I don't know if I said that right, but French is a pretty cool country. I mean, language, and it's probably a cool country. I wouldn't know. But yeah, it's shorter than. Oh, and by the way, the whole reason I got this, basically, I went. Whoa, Mike's being defiant. We got a defiant appliance. Robots are taking over, guys. So, the series, The Flowers of Evil by Shuzo Oshimi, I think he wrote it. I wanted to get that. And I wanted to get the source material first. I like to do that with most things that I'm really interested in. And I haven't read this, by the way, yet. But basically, there's this vertical sale. And I was going to buy most of the series for that sale, but I don't actually have a credit card of my own. So I bought one of those fucking vanilla Visa cards and paid however much I paid. And it was like 10 of the 11 volumes that I would have gotten, but they fucking canceled my order. So I didn't get anything. They didn't fucking, they didn't put it through. So that ends pretty much my entire life, my entire existence. Actually, it doesn't. I'm well over it by now, but at the time I was pretty pissed off because by the time I was notified, my own fault, by the way, I didn't check my email, but the sale was over. So basically, I'll just wait till there's another sale until I have more money to freely be able to spend. But yeah, nonetheless, this looks good. I'm not much of a poetry guy myself, but I can get down to it. It's good practice, Can decipher the lines, pick out the metaphors, interpret some mystical shit. As that is the kind of guy I am. Yeah, it's really short, actually. I thought it would be much longer. It's only 65 pages, and it's like a poem per page. They're not even really that long poems. So yeah, this should be interesting. Sonnet XLIII. I don't know what the L means. X is 10. I don't know. Maybe it's like 50. Interesting, very interesting. But yeah, it's cool to have, I figure what I'll do with vertical stuff, the longer stuff I'll just get during sales because they do have sales on Right Stuff, and it's the ideal time, just to save some money. It's always a nice feeling. I always can feel power over others who aren't able to save money like I am. Next, I'll do the DVDs. I got a couple. This one isn't anime at all, but figure I'll show it anyway. South Park Season 1. Oh yeah. I bought it used for $8. It's a pretty damn good deal if I do say so myself. Yeah, I like South Park. I've only seen a few episodes prior to buying this, but it's very highly regarded. You know, just here, I should probably be showing the fucking thing. But yeah, I haven't watched this yet because I'm pretty much swamped with anything else to watch. I mean, everything else I have to watch. A lot of anime. So this will help me throughout the school year, you know. That'll be a pretty useful time for this. But yeah, comedic shit. I like that it doesn't pull punches and that it riles people up. The uneducated riles up the uneducated. So yeah, I'll just put that there. And this also technically is an anime, but it's related because it's inspired. It's Avatar: The Last Airbender, book 3. I love Avatar. I love the characters. I only bought book 3 because it was a used bookstore. Same one as the South Park DVD. But here you go. I'm going to buy the other 2, and then I'll probably rewatch the show. Because it's been fucking forever. And I've been meaning to rewatch it. It used to be on Netflix. But they took it off the whole instant service, so now I'm more compelled to buy the DVDs at least, so that's cool. Yeah, no, we got this whole 2 stacks of manga. It's always good to see this kind of shit. I bought most of this used, so there's still stickers on these because they put these fucking stickers on here. They're not actually that bad, at least as bad as some other sticker putting corporations. So they're not total assholes, but especially for the price I bought these at, $1 each. That's a fucking steal. Like it's brilliant. Never would have thought of it myself. But anyway, this first one is an OEL, but it looked interesting. It's actually signed by the author, which, by the way, I don't really care about autographs because it means nothing to me pretty much, because I'm not going to be selling this shit. At least I don't plan on it. So the worth doesn't really come into factor, but it is cool nonetheless. That is Flip Side #1 by Brian Folk, and he signed it. Hold on, let me show you. Right on, where did he sign? Oh, I'm on a page in already. Right there under his name. Very nice. It just sounds good. It seems to be self-published. Yeah, but it does actually interest me. Not many OEL do interest me, but a few do. I mean, I Love Halloween was good. Warcraft: The Sunwell trilogy was surprisingly good. Well, at least interesting. It might not have been that good. Can't really think of any others, but yeah, Flip Side looks pretty good. I'll just throw this here. Then we got 3 volumes of a series that I've had for a while. Well, the series I've had for a while, and I've wanted to get into for a while. It is Hellsing. I should have shown the volumes, but yeah, Hellsing. Volumes 2, 3, and 4. Basically, I've had 1 for years, and I bought 5 through 9 at a bookstore, and then I ordered these 3 online afterward because it's cool. I liked Volume 1. Read it years ago. I'm gonna be rereading it. There's still Volume 10, but that's very out of print, very much out of print. I'll just read up to 9 and then get 10 whenever I can. unless I start to dislike the series, in which case I will drop it. That'd be pretty unfortunate. And we got the remaining volumes of a series that I've enjoyed for about a year, 2 years maybe. But yeah, it's a manhwa called The Tarot Cafe. Got volume 3. Oh, and it's cool because they have the numbers on the tarot cards. Now, I don't actually believe in tarot cards and shit. Like, it's a bunch of nonsense. It's rubbish. It's entire rubbish. Or like, star signs and that fucking bullshit. Volume 4. I really do like these covers. They're very nice. Oh, these bastards put fucking stickers on it. I didn't notice that before. Whatever. Volume 5. Another cool cover. Basically, Volume 6. It's an anthology. Well, not an anthology, but it's basically an episodic series about a woman who runs a tarot cafe, which is basically a cafe in which you get your fortune told through the use of tarot cards. And you basically go through the customers' backstories and you learn about their problems, and they get their problems. Well, they get direction from the use of these tarot cards and these predictions and shit. It's cool in story though, but you try to do that shit to me in real life, don't. Just, I'm not super superstitious. But yeah, cool story nonetheless. Then we got the remaining series of a certain yaoi, or shonenai. I don't really know the difference. It's not hardcore, so I guess it would be shonenai. Though I don't really know if that's like the difference, but whatever. But yeah, it's called Fake. I've known this series for a few years. Yeah, it's I originally read the first volume for a marathon contest sort of thing. Then I got the second volume for the next year of that contest, and then I bought volumes 3 and 4 eventually, and now I have complete series 1 through 7. And I haven't read past volume 2 yet, so I'm just gonna start at volume 3 and then make my way through that, which should be cool. Yeah. Then we have Shaman King volume 4. This is a series that I do like. I remember liking it back when I read the first 3 volumes like 4 years ago. Fucking nuts, man. Yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, I only got volume 4, but the thing with this series is I didn't love it, but I really did like it though. So it's something that I would slowly get. I'd get the volumes as I see them, read them as I get them. No real rush. I do plan on finishing it one day though. 33 volumes though, so not something I really want to, contribute a whole bunch of money to. Not that I don't think it's that expensive since it's so old. And with old stuff, it's usually, yeah, it's very likely to rise in price, but it's also that they're not going to be charging a whole lot unless it's rare, which I don't believe many of these volumes are, but I could be wrong, but whatever. I'm not that concerned about it. Next, we got a classic called Meison Ikoku by Rumiko Takahashi. She's the creator of Ranma One Half and Inuyasha and many others. This is like a comedy, romantic comedy, I guess. I've wanted to get into her stuff for a while. I'm not really interested in Inuyasha, but I'm very interested in Ranma One Half because I've known about it for years. It looks funny. And I saw this. I know these volumes are pretty rare, but it's volume one. Figure it's the perfect decision maker to see if I would enjoy the series, which I hope I do. So, yeah, she's like a classic mangaka. So, pretty excited about reading this sometime. Once again, Maison Ikoku, Volume 1. So there you go. Next, we got, what's this called? Moyasiman Tales of Agriculture. Now, this is a series, I just got it randomly because it looked interesting, and unfortunately, I hope it is not because I think volumes 1 and 2 are the only ones translated out of like 20. And I don't like to buy a series that I can't complete. So it pains me to say this, but I hope I don't like it very much. So then I won't be too distraught if they're like if I do like it, then I'd want to get more, but I'd only be able to get one more volume. But yeah, it's not something a lot of people have, I don't think, but it's cool. Next, I got an art book, a Bleach art book. It's Bleach official bootleg color Bleach. Yeah, for like $2. Basically, it covers like characters in the Soul Society and like Soul Reapers and shit, and it gives like some side stories, I guess. Basically, I'll be reading this once I begin to reread Bleach. At least the stuff I've already read. I actually really like Bleach. A lot of people don't like it. I can't entirely see it or I can't see why yet because I have not actually read a little past the Soul Society arc. I think past or through 28, volume 28, but it's a lot farther than a lot of other people go. And I remember liking it very much up until then. The only reason I stopped is because it's so long and I didn't want to buy the volumes. So I'll just get the box sets because they're doing that. Next, we got a just a novel released by Vertical. It's a Japanese novel, a influential Japanese novel. It's called Ring. It's by Koji Suzuki. This inspired many films, including an American adaptation, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't watch a whole lot of movies, but that one was pretty good. I've wanted to get this trilogy for a while. There's two others. It's like Spiral and something else, and there are also some other books in the whole franchise. So I want to get all of those and read them all. And it's good to get to experience the source for your favorite stuff. So I'm pretty excited. I'm reading a ton of other shit right now though, so I'm not able to read it currently, but definitely soon. Very excited for that. Next, we got Inuyashiki Volume 3 by Hiroyu Oya. I think that's how you pronounce his name. No, Hiroya Oku. He created Gantz and this. Now, Inuyashiki. Here, let me hold it over here. No, that's even worse. Goddamn. Right here, that's good. So basically, Inuyashiki was very unique, interesting, and just good at the beginning. It was a very unique idea. Maybe not the most unique, but it was unique enough for me. It was very enjoyable. And I bought the first 2 volumes. Then I continued it on Crunchyroll. Continued reading it on Crunchyroll. Unfortunately, it got really boring. Not really boring. It was more like it got slow because it was too fast. What I mean by this is I'd wait for a week for a new chapter and it would breeze by and just like that in like a minute. It would just be a fight sequence. That was the whole chapter, the whole fucking chapter. So this got really slow. So I'm gonna get up until volume 6, and then I'm gonna read all of that and see if it gets any better. And if it doesn't, I'm just dropping it. Unfortunately, that happens with a lot of series. It has a unique idea, and then it just turns to shit. Not that it's total shit. I mean, it was still fun to read. It's just in such small increments, it's really not that fun to read. So I really do hope reading them by the volume, because I didn't stop reading it online because it was boring. I stopped reading because I'd rather just read it by the volume. That's how I'm gonna do with any series, except for Inside Marie, and which I'm reading on Crunchyroll, and also Capellion, which I'm going to try out at some point, because neither of those have physical releases in English, unfortunately. And yeah, Inuyashiki Volume 3. Yeah, I'll just get those volumes some other time, or as they come out. I think Volume 4 is out, but I haven't bought that yet because saving up for something else. Next, we got a classic, what is regarded as a classic at least, Ghost in the Shell, Volume 2. What's it called? Man-Machine Interface. I think this is Volume 2. There's Volume 1, and then there's 1.5. Now, I forget whether 1.5 or 2 comes first, because it's weird that way sometimes with this sort of thing, but people love Ghost in the Shell. It's regarded as a classic. I'm going to buy the other 2 volumes very soon, very, very soon, and read this and see for myself how good it is. I haven't watched any of the movies. I haven't watched anything I haven't watched or read anything Ghost in the Shell related ever. So this is the perfect start since the manga was what came out first. So that's cool. Not much to say though. Oh, it's in full color, by the way. See? Look at that. Very nice. Yeah, it's expensive as fuck as well, by the way. I bought this for $12.50, but that's not retail. It's $25 retail. Pretty pretty fucking expensive, but price isn't terrible. Well, it is terrible, but whatever. Final manga I got was one that was recommended by a code provider in his top 10 list of funniest manga series. He recommended the anime, but I got the manga instead, and it is Detroit Metal City Volume 1, my first Viz Signature series. I haven't read this volume yet because, as I've mentioned many other times, I'm fucking swamped with shit to read, which I'll be talking about what I've read lately in a second. But yeah, it looks funny. It's the one that compelled me the most out of everything on his list. This, as well as Prison School and was it Golden Boy? I'm gonna get the Golden Boy anime sometime, but the Prison School I'm gonna get the manga because I'm just more of a manga guy generally. But yeah, Detroit Metal City looks interesting, looks funny. Not much to say. I hope it impresses me though. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I've gotten lately. So yeah, I guess I will talk now about what I've read. Won't that be fun? Oh shit, I forgot. That's not all. So, if you didn't know, I have this one Escaflowne poster. Ironically, I have not even read or watched The Vision of Escaflowne yet, but I do have the first 5 volumes. The reason I hadn't read it prior was because I thought I wanted to own the entire series before starting it, but I don't even know if I'm going to like it, so I figure why not just read the first volume, and if I like it a lot, then I'll buy the other 3 volumes. You see, I always have this sort of internal struggle. I'm not much of an idiot. But anyway, the girl I know that gave me that poster gave me, I think, 4 more, and they're all rolled up. So that's why I can't tell exactly how many, but I figure I'll show them really quick. Oh shit, it's upside down. Oh, see, they're rolly, so it's difficult. But yeah, it looks like a pretty cool series, honestly. There's some stuff I'm reading currently that are getting in the way, and some other stuff that I'm prioritizing over Escaflowne, but this is definitely a priority because I have all these fucking posters, but I still have not read or watched the fucking series, so figure I may as well get down on that. Here's the second one. Make sure it's not up. Here we go. It's sideways, but oh shit. Yeah, very nice. Looks pretty interesting, honestly. Yeah, I haven't put these up mainly because, I kind of wanted to show them in a video before putting them up, and it's been a few months. I also had that shelf put up, so I didn't want to put it up and then have to move it. So, yeah, I guess I'll put one right there, one on the adjacent wall, then one right over there, one there. Oh, I also have a Full Metal Alchemist one to put up. But yeah, here's that poster. Very nice. Sweet. Yeah. They're kind of old, but I like them the way they are. Yep, it was 4. I was correct. Oh. Here's that last one. That's probably my favorite. I just like it. Actually, I think I like the landscape one more, but yeah, these are all very nice posters. Thank you, girl that gave me these. I'll just toss them on my bed. Hopefully they don't fall. Oh my. All right. So, okay, I'm gonna quickly move these over, but yeah, been reading quite a bit this summer. Really quickly, I want to get out of the way that I would have read more, but I'm also currently reading, and I was reading throughout this whole summer, Full Metal Alchemist, rereading rather, because I own the complete series. I got the box set, and I was going to. It's been years since I've originally read that, so it's nice to go back, read my favorite series, or one of my favorite series. There are a few others that are up there with it. One of them being I Am a Hero, which I still have not bought, or I always say bought. I still have not purchased that first volume yet. But I assure you that will be the next thing I pick up. The very first thing I will buy whenever I buy more stuff. Let me take a swig. Your hair gets in the water. All right. Yeah. So I'll go with the manga first, and then the anime. They're actually more anime because, Full Metal Alchemist is 27 volumes long. I'm only on, what am I on? 13, volume 13. Just let me say really quick though, I'm gonna cover this, I guess next month or something, but I'm still loving Full Metal Alchemist. Just as much as I remember it. I still love it. I'm not too keen on Edward or Al very much. Ed was my go-to favorite character whenever people would ask me to rank my favorite Full Metal Alchemist characters, which I'm not a fan of doing, but I do have 3 more. It would be, it's always been Scar as my favorite, but I also have realized that my other favorites would include Greed and Izumi Curtis. And I also like Gluttony because he's he's fucking scary, man. Like he scares the living shit out of me. Um, like it not extremely like to the point where I have to put the fucking thing down. Like I just love Gluttony. He's he's funny in a dark way. It's fucking great. I love him. I don't really have a fifth. I don't like Mustang that much. I'm also not a fan of Hawkeye. The reason being, uh, I don't know. I just don't like the type who follows others. Unfortunately, but whatever. So yeah, that's everything. So basically, there's one, two, three, four, five series in here that I've read other than Full Metal Alchemist this summer. Though this first one I actually read during spring break during the school year, but I never got to talk about it, and I think it deserves it deserves me to talk about it. It's an old series, older at least, not like Tezuka old, but yeah, that's good. All right, so the series is Pretty Face. Oh yeah, I picked my favorite volumes, but I couldn't decide between these two. But yeah, Pretty Face. It is a 6-volume Shonen Jump series that is now out of print. Um, 5 and 6 are pretty expensive, but the first 4 aren't too bad. Last time I checked, at least. I was lucky enough to find these um, all 6 volumes for $1 each at a bookstore. Pretty fucking good. Basically, the series is about a guy. He's on he's on a bus with his karate pals, I guess. He's an asshole. Well, he acts like an asshole, and a lot of people don't like him, but they're scared of him because he's the karate master at his school. He's the fucking champion, and he likes this girl on his bus who's a couple years younger than him. And the he thinks that she doesn't like him because he's an asshole. And she gets off the bus, and then eventually the bus crashes, and he is believed to be dead, but he is salvaged by a plastic surgeon, in fact, the best in the world, who his face is so fucked up by the accident that the guy doesn't know what to make his face look like. So the guy does have a picture of the girl he likes in his pocket. I know it's pretty devoted for puppy love, that is, but his face is now that girl's. So he's all pissed off. He goes out, and then he runs into that girl, and it turns out that she has a long lost twin sister, and she thinks that he is that long lost sister. So he begins hanging out with her friends in her school and her grade and shit. It's pretty funny. It doesn't sound great, I guess, but I was intrigued when I heard about this years ago. I recommend it. I really do recommend it because it's 6 volumes long. I mean, don't devote your time to scounging the lands for each volume if you really don't vastly desire to read this. But if you do, um, I mean, I don't mean to overhype anything, but it's enjoyable. It's funny as shit. Well, not it's no like Naked Gun or anything, but I mean it's pretty fucking funny. Um, I enjoyed it. I read it within a few days. It was great. I actually savored the story, savored the experience, and made it last the whole week of spring break. That's what I do these days on breaks. I don't hang out with people anymore. But yeah, it was a good experience. I'm glad to own it. Honestly, it's one of those classic Shonen Jump series. Well, I mean, classic in terms of U.S. classic, one of the first released in the U.S. So that's pretty cool. I'll just put these right here. Next one. This one, I don't want to talk a whole lot about it because it's kind of kind of personal, but that's what a lot of people say. But I mean, in my case, I just don't like talking about what it makes me feel very much because and like how I can relate to it because I don't really like that aspect of myself. It's kind of a bit of a thorn, this aspect of myself. But the series is Welcome to the NHK. This is Volume 8, my favorite cover. Look at her. Anyway, what can I say? It's about the a hikikomori, basically a recluse. He's like 20. He's 23, turning 24. His fourth year as a hikikomori. Um, he dropped out of college because he was very. He felt as though everyone was looking down on him in public, so he just resides in his room. Um, it's it's great. You know it it really did impress me. Um, Basically, I've seen the anime a few times. I've read the novel a couple times, so I knew what to expect, and it blew my expectations out of the water, despite having experienced this story about 8 times. But basically, it's very dark, darker than the anime, darker than the novel. The the events take place differently, of course. I mean, it's not going to be the exact same, but there's also like the anime only covers to about volume 4, and um that means there's like an extra 4 volumes of um fresh content that is not in the novel or the anime. And the same can be said about the novel to an extent. There is some stuff that happened in the novel that did not occur in the manga or the anime. So I definitely recommend the novel. Um, Now let me just say the order in which you should experience this would be the anime, then the manga, then the novel. Well, the novel you can put in at any place, but I'd say anime first, then the manga, now then the novel, because then there's still a lot of fresh content in the manga. Um, but yeah, it's great. I mean, what can I really say? A lot of people know it. Um, it's not mainstream, but it is still popular nonetheless. Um, it's 8 volumes. I mean, I I might I might talk about it in the future in more depth, but I don't. It's relatable. That's all I'll say for now because I I'm not scared to talk about it, but I just rather like it's not a huge deal, but I mean, I don't really enjoy talking about because it's not like prevalent issues anymore. It's just thinking back on those issues that really honestly kind of pissed me off because um, I was kind of a quitter. Not really a good aspect to have, but anyway, next we got a uh, a one shot that I've had for many years. It's a shoujo title entitled Times Two. Now, this is okay. I bought this years ago, um, and I figured it's always stood out to me since it's 1 volume. I've had it for years, so why not just get it out of the way? Let me hold it here. So it's a compilation of 5 short stories by this author. She's made a few other stuff, but I don't really know anything she made, or even if anything was released in America. But times two is 5 short stories, for the most part generic, um, uninteresting, but not uninteresting, but kind of generic, yeah, just typical. At least the first three. The first three are not the most interesting. I basically what I did while reading this was I'd read a chapter of it, then I'd go read a volume of Full Metal Alchemist, then I'd read another chapter, then another volume, because it's one story contained, and it's basically a high school setting, um, in all of them. Actually, I think one of them's in a college setting, or maybe two, but no, I think it's just one. But it's good that I read this. Oh, let me just say really quick. The first three are generic, but the fifth, fourth and fifth, not whatever. Um, the fourth is the best in my opinion because it incorporates fantasy elements, and I like this because the other three, the first three, were just normal life. Boring compared to this fourth one. It involves telekinesis. Personal phobia of mine. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they incorporated that, though it's probably not that unique. I'd say it's pretty unique of a concept. Maybe not as a concept, but the way it's used. The story is titled Frequency. Here's the story's really well. You can't really see because my camera sucks, but whatever. Um, it was enjoyable. It was genuinely enjoyable. I liked it, as I did the fifth story, which is entitled Baby Universe. It's the college setting story. Basically, a guy. It's actually also from the only one with the perspective being from a guy's point of view. Basically, he sees this girl that he used to know as a child, and they saw a UFO, and this draws them together in this story. The stories are very simple premises, but it's a shoujo title. It would be in Shoujo Beat, but this was before Shoujo Beat was implemented, I guess. Um, just fun little stories. I wouldn't recommend you get it. I can't really unless what I've said interests you, but it was good for me to get it out of the way since I wouldn't have picked this up now, but the mindset I had back then was if it was cheap and looked a little bit interesting, at least more interesting than anything else the store had to offer, then I'd buy it. I no longer do that shit because it's a waste of money for stuff I don't think I'm going to be able to enjoy. Now I did show some other stuff that I got on a whim, but I had credit and there wasn't much else there, so I used the credit to get that. But whatever. So yeah, I wouldn't really recommend this unless you want some typical shoujo stories, and yeah, I wouldn't have picked it up in the circumstances nowadays, but I'm glad I read it. But yeah, next, I read the complete series, the complete 2-volume series of Next World by Osamu Tezuka. A bit of a backstory on this series. Oh, this is my favorite cover, by the way. Look at that. Mustachio, that's his name. Fucking awesome character, by the way. But Next World, okay. This is a story that I've experienced throughout, I want to say since 6th grade when I was getting into manga, because it was in the same section as the Pokemon Adventures volumes that I would read from my library. And it was always volume 1. There's 2 volumes, but it was volume 1 that I had read. And then a few years ago I purchased volume 1, and I bought it for a marathon But then finally, I eventually bought volume 2, and I just got around to rereading the first volume and finally reading the second volume. Um, I remember not enjoying the first volume as much as other stories such as Buddha and Dororo, um, also by Tezuka. But the second volume, you need to kind of read it in bulk. You need to read the two volumes together to truly appreciate it, I think. Um, Basically, the series takes twists and turns. It changes the point of view. It changes the goal, the direction of the story drastically. The enemies from the first volume are now allies. The allies from the first volume are now enemies, though not necessarily good or evil. Though you shouldn't really think in terms of good or evil any of the time, but that's a story for another time. Basically, let me just give you the premise. So, a scientist is traveling to a deserted island that is widely affected by nuclear bomb testing, nuclear power. There are like these fucking dinosaurs there, and he sees this frail creature faint, and it's humanoid, but it's the next step in evolution. Um, so he takes it back to Japan, and he has it in his bag because why just wave around that you found a new species in front of a whole bunch of stupid people. Um, and then Dr. Mustachio right here, he hears this and he's a detective, so he goes to inspect. He hears the creature yelling for help, so he follows the guy back to his house, and it's unveiled to him that um, the I forget what exactly it was, but something about the next step of evolution being implemented soon, and the end of the world and all that. And nuclear power is a big issue. The Russians are the big proponents of that. Um, Basically, the story goes into a whole bunch of topics such as racism, um, greed, the danger of the desire of money and wealth and shit. War, if I didn't already say that, nuclear power and weapons and shit, stupid shit like that. I hate that shit. There's also stuff like um, mob mentality, um, the end of the world, um, mass hysteria, um, natural disasters, a lot of a wide variety of shit that is very prevalent today on Earth in real life. Because not the same stuff, but definitely equivalents. Like, global warming could be compared to the epidemic that occurs in the second volume. There's always war going on. Unfortunately, wish that would all stop, but whatever. Well, not whatever, but I have nothing much to say about it currently. But yeah, Next World, I'd highly recommend it. It blew me away because I did not think I would enjoy it as much as I did, and I did really enjoy it. So that's fucking great. I think the next Tezuka work that I will read will be Ayako. I know Immortalium rates this highly. I think it was one of his first reviews. But yeah, I've wanted to read it for a while. Pretty much anything by Tezuka I've wanted to read for a while. We got Astro Boy as well. I also have the Twin Knights, but I want to read Princess Knight first. Even though the thing they released was a remake by Tezuka, but still it's a remake, but probably still good. Anyway, the final manga that I've read lately is it's only one volume of the series, but and I only have the first volume, and it is Category Freaks Volume 1. Now this funny story. So I found this at a bookstore that I was at, and it was the only manga there, and I had heard of this. I had heard of this title years ago. I couldn't exactly remember where. Hold on. Oh, Jesus, I fucking threw up pretty much. But anyway, I remember hearing reviews. Now I mistook these reviews for good reviews. Once I purchased it and taken it home, I remembered that these were bad reviews. It was, well, not necessarily specific bad reviews, just a disregard for the series by Code Provider. I remember this was years ago, man. Back when he reviewed Purgatory Kabuki. I don't know if you guys follow him or not, but this was apparently by the same publisher as Purgatory Kabuki. Now, Purgatory Kabuki, I'm really not interested in at all because it sounds like the story's a jumble. The art looks great though. So there is an art book by that guy, which, if you want it for the art book, just get the art book instead of the convoluted manga. Again, this is not my experience. It's Code Providers, but I mean, you can go see his review. But anyway, this manga, he disregarded. He said it was just weird. So then I was disappointed. I'm like, ah, shit! I just bought this fucking manga that I thought was gonna be good. But then I had not actually read it then. So just about a few days ago, at this point, I guess, I read this at like 4 in the morning. I was pulling another all-nighter because I'm a brilliant man. But I read this accumulatively in about an hour. You can read this in about an hour, probably even less, because it just breezes by. Well, I mean, it depends on the person. That's subjective. But I personally loved this. Well, maybe not loved this, but liked it a lot. I liked it. Basically, it's an episodic series. Each chapter is a new story. It's about a group, a supernatural detective group that go after these beings known as freaks. Did I mention the title? It's called Category Freaks, Volume 1. But they go after the freaks. The leader is this guy who's he has this being inside him that kills the freaks, and then there's this little girl that eats the fucking freaks, and yeah, and there's this other guy who does all the paperwork and the talking, and then their assistant maid girl who's kind of good looking. But yeah, it's just like short stories. The freaks appear when there are conflicted individuals who are um, experiencing negative and harmful feelings and experiences, and they're just and desires too. That's another one. Um, and then the effects of this are reported, and these people act upon those reports. That's a 4 volume series, so I think I'll be buying the rest of this because I was impressed. I was definitely impressed. It probably wouldn't stand out to many others, but the fact that my expectations were blown away is probably the reason why I'm enjoying this so much. So I don't know if you guys would really enjoy it. It's weird at first. It feels weird. The atmosphere is very weird. Um, just keep on reading past the first chapter, past the second chapter. It goes pretty quickly. There's not a vast amount of dialogue. The artwork is not convoluted. You can tell what is going on. There might have been a few moments, but it's a surprisingly good read, and I enjoyed that. I liked that it impressed me. I don't like to dislike series. I gave Dragon Knights 2 chances. I was disappointed both times, though I am glad that I was able to read all the volumes I own that second time. But that series fucking sucked. Uh, some others that I was not impressed with: Broken Angels, Bloody Kiss, Magic Knight Rayearth by Clamp, unfortunately. Uh, Neck and Neck, it's a manhwa. Yeah, I try to um, give stuff second chances, even third chances. But probably not for a while on any of those, but whatever. Ugh. All right, that could have been good. I guess now it'll be on to the anime, since that was all the manga, other than Full Metal Alchemist. And I'm also reading some other stuff as well, but I'll get into that next month, I guess. Anyway, um, basically, I wrote these all down because I watched these all on Crunchyroll, and one of them I watched on Netflix. So the first one, it's on Crunchyroll. It's entitled Blast of Tempest. I dropped this after episode 8, not because I didn't. It I liked it all right, but it just did not do it for me. It was not my thing. It's basically an apocalyptic series about these dark magicians are trying to take over the world, and they're succeeding. Different areas are being all the beings in the vicinity of these specific areas are being turned into metal, except for this one guy and his friend. Now, his friend has been missing for a while. He's a delinquent, so this isn't abnormal entirely, but it's been a few months. He's been actually working with this rebel magician who is trying to prevent these dark magicians from taking over the world. And he has these powers that she is lending to him, and he uses this to save the protagonist. And it should be also mentioned that the protagonist was dating the delinquent's sister until she died a year prior. But yeah, basically they're just going through the lands and countering these magicians. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't for me. So I dropped it after episode 8, unfortunately. But I could go back to it someday. Um, Another one that I watched was Golden Time. This is it's about a guy named Banri. I think that's his name. He's in college. It's his first day of college, and he meets this guy who transferred to this college because he didn't want to be at his old college, or the college he would have been going to, because his childhood friend and um, what she considered to be his soulmate um, went to that college, and he wanted to get away from her because she's crazy. And it turns out that she is a crafty little thing and found her way to that college. So now he's back in the same predicament. But Bonri does not think she is unattractive and actually grows a romantic interest for her. So that's pretty much the series, what it's about. It's kind of a love story. There's many misadventures, actually. It's pretty entertaining. It's not the best. The main reason I watched it was because I'd started it like 3 years ago and dropped it just for no reason. I didn't dislike it. I just dropped it, and I watched it in about a week. I I liked it. I did like it. I probably wouldn't rewatch it for quite a while because I didn't love it. What it's oh god damn. I just ate, so yeah. Anyway, I I liked it. I'm glad I saw it and got that completed. It's just it was a good experience. I'd recommend it if you want a romance series or a slice of life. It's just a fun little series. It gets kind of deep at some points, but especially toward the end. But yeah, it's pretty laid back for the most part. The next one, it's another romance. It's called Natsuyuki Rendezvous. It's basically about a guy who has a crush on this girl who works at a florist shop. So he goes to buy flowers there every day to see her, and he eventually gets a job there and gets to know her better. And it's known to her eventually that he likes her. So he eventually ends up in her house, and it turns out that her dead husband, the ghost of her dead husband or ex-husband at this point, is still around, and he still wants her ass for himself. So he doesn't want that guy there trying to get up in his wife. So it's not as comedic as I imagined it to be, but it it did it did keep me entertained throughout the entirety. I definitely did not enjoy it as much as I thought I would, just because there wasn't as much comedy as I had hoped for, but it was still enjoyable. I'd recommend it, sure. Nothing special though, but whatever. Next title is called Mononoke. Now this one stands out because of its animation style. It's very unique. Not like your typical anime style. It's more of like I don't know if you guys seen Yami Shibai, but it's similar to that. Now the layout of the show is similar to Monogatari, in which there are 3 to 4 episode arcs, and that's how the story is told, or stories. Every 2 to 3 episodes, it's a new arc, a new story. So I think there's 5 throughout Mononoke, and basically it's set. Well, it's not really. It's kind of a timeless tale, but that's the whole um, thing about it. It's a strange, weird, in a good way, interesting series with interesting stories, interesting logic, um, stuff like and he basically goes around helping out where Yami Shibai, which is basically supernatural monsters, are causing trouble in various areas, like at a tavern, or a ship which sails into um, the Asian version of the Bermuda Triangle, um, stuff like that. It is, if you've read or watched Monogatari, you'd probably like this. It's not as action oriented as Monogatari, but definitely it definitely can be enjoyed by the same fans. The next one is a film entitled Mind Game, and it's on Netflix. I didn't watch it on Crunchyroll. Basically, it's about a comic book artist, and he runs into his childhood friend that he likes. He wants to, have babies with, and they go out to a bar because it's been years, and the bar is owned by her sister and father, and the girl actually has a fiance or husband now. I forget which, but this upsets him. But then two two Yakuza members walk into the bar, and they're after the girl's father, and he's hiding. So then the one of them starts like raping the girl, and the guy is cowering away from the scene, the artist that is, but he's not like hiding, he's just cowering on the floor like a coward. And then this Yakuza guy that's raping his love interest walks over to him and accidentally shoots him up the ass and through the head, and he dies. And he's up in the afterlife. And then he meets, I guess, God or something. And then this God discourages him from returning. He says he can't, but then he runs the other way, away from the light, back to where he was about to be shot up the ass. And he's determined. So he sticks up for himself and shoots the motherfucker, and then runs away with the girl and her sister. And the husband had been knocked out, and the other guy's cowering, and the other Yakuza member just he doesn't give a shit. Oh shit, there's like a fucking thing. Hold on. Fuck you. Yeah, that's gross. Get off me. Sorry about that. There's a bug. Tends to happen a lot these days. Anyway, so then they go on this adventure, and they're chased by the Yakuza, and then they end up going off a bridge into the water and into the stomach of a whale, where they meet this old guy who lives there and has lived there for years. And they're basically adapting to that environment. That's where the premise goes, you know. That's where it goes. It's a very, very experimental show with the animation. It's comparable, in my opinion, to Welcome to the NHK. You know, kind of the whole. It's better animated than NHK. It's like if NHK was animated a few years later, then that's what I think Mind Game represents. It's good. Very enjoyable. It's under 2 hours, I think, just under 2 hours. It's I don't really know what to compare it to, other than NHK with the art style. I mean, you could compare it to that Bible story, the one where the guy gets swallowed by the whale. I forget what that was called, but you can compare it to that. Though it's not really the same thing, but yeah, there you go. Compare it to the Bible story. You know, if the premise interests you, then I'd recommend it to you. That's really all I can think of at the moment. It's funny. It's not dark. It's very interesting. Very interesting. There's a lot of flashbacks, and you can see how all these characters are connected through their past, or you know what's been going on. You can see what's happening. Other stuff that might not have made sense before makes sense through the use of these backstories, and it's a neat little film. I definitely recommend it. The next anime I watched was it's on Crunchyroll, and it's called Ghost Stories. Now, the thing about this is one of the fucking funniest. Oh my god, this fucking thing was so funny. You gotta watch the dub. Don't watch the sub. Watch the dub, because the dub, what they did was they probably got the script for the original Japanese version. They're like, what is this fucking shit? This is generic. We need something different. So they made a new script with fucking funny lines, and oh my god, it's like a parody of itself. It's like they didn't want to translate it. They didn't want to dub over it, with they didn't want to dub over the actual show, so they made a parody of it. That's pretty much what they did, but it's official. And that's what makes this hilarious. And they do the whole episode this way. It's so it's hilarious. You gotta watch it. Basically, these middle school or elementary school kids. There's this creepy old school next to where they go to school, like next to their school. And well, there's a girl and her brother that they move to the area, and they see that school, and they decide to go exploring in there together when they meet two other guys at their school who are sneaking around as well. And then they meet this other girl who's also sneaking around there, and they run into this demon, yeah. And basically the girl's mother was a student there, and she conquered all the demons there and wrote this whole book about how to conquer each demon. I guess they come back to life. I don't know. That's probably why they decided to dub over it so comedically, because the original might not have been that great. I wouldn't know because I didn't watch the original, just the dub. But they go around, like demons will attack, and they or cause mischief or problems or whatever, and they will respond with their abilities. It's fucking hilarious. I laughed so much. It's great. If I could recommend anything thus far that I've talked about, it would be Ghost Stories, the dub. You gotta watch the dub. You can't watch the sub. I won't allow it. You have to fucking watch the dub. Chris Patton was in it. He's one of my favorite voice actors, English voice actors. He was pretty funny in that. And Greg Ayres as well. And the final anime that I watched, I actually own. And here's my favorite cover. It's the Melody of Oblivion. This is the final cover. You can see all the characters there. Basically, this is a post-apocalyptic series. Basically, after I think the 21st century, but in the 20th century, monsters had attacked Earth and taken over after this deadly war that claimed many lives. And it's they rule everything. They control all the corporations and the society of Japan and the whole world, actually. But there's the melody. I mean, no, the Melos warriors, and they fight against the monsters with bow and arrow with spiritual power, because they are able to hear the Melody of Oblivion, which is basically this voice of hope, I guess, for the humans. Basically, the monsters had this society that they oversee, and they call it the Monster Union. Basically, they have human bosses that rule different industries, and they're given like these suits to fight against the Melos warriors in so this guy named Boca, he's a high school student who does not enjoy anything he's doing in life, and decides to join the Warriors of Melos when he is introduced to one who's chasing a monster in his town, and he becomes a Melos warrior, and he basically leaves his town, goes around hunting for just trying to make a difference. And he runs into this girl named Sayako, who travels with him, and they go through all these different places and fight monster union allies and monsters and shit. This anime, I can honestly say, is the best anime I've ever seen. Um, the story is great. The animation is great for its time. This was like, what year was this? It was like, um, I'm guessing around 2000, maybe a bit later. And it's very the style in which the animation is carried out is very surreal. Um, a lot happens in very weird sequences, and it's fucking just, oh my god. It's it feels so good to see the way they animate it because it's so interesting. Um, I like you could watch it entirely for its animation, or also very impressive is the OST. Um, the OST, the background music goes great. It goes perfectly with the action sequences and whatever else is going on. The opening is great. The ending is cool. Um, I really like all of the music used in the series. The characters are very interesting. The dialogue is surreal as well. Um, the whole experience was very interesting and fun, and the only thing I can really complain about is the ending. Toward the ending it gets a bit I think they pull a few ass pulls, unfortunately. And at the very end it's an open ending. It's not sufficiently concluded. It's just left open uh, for a sequel potentially, though this was years ago, so I don't think that will happen. Though I would love a sequel if that ever does happen. I'll be on that. Um, yeah, it's great. 10 out of 10 for me on my end. I haven't really said that about many series before, but this severely impressed me. Um, this is on Crunchyroll now. It wasn't when I was watching it. I was watching it through Netflix. Um, the DVDs they send you, which I don't usually use, but my family has that, so I sometimes use it. But yeah, this was pretty good. I actually, yeah, I bought it. So um, yeah, that's all I really gotta say. It's out of print, so I don't know if you'll be able to get your hands on it if you ever do want to buy it. But yeah, I'm just gonna put it right here. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much everything I've read and watched. I already showed everything I got. Um, so yeah, not really much else to do. Um, let's see. Let me check something. Um, oh shit! People commented. I didn't even realize. Uh, Manga Madness says, "Hey Bob, what's up, dude?" Yasumitsu says, "What's up?" The usual. Thanks guys for showing up. I didn't realize you commented because I'm on this different window and it says like it has this chat section, but it didn't show up here. But um, whoops. Oh well. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say or anything. Um, but yeah, this was interesting. Um, good practice for the future. Um, um, I'm thinking of having other live streams in the future with other people. Um, so it was good to test this out, see how it works, and yeah, it was overall a pretty cool experience. I'd do this again. So yeah, I'm thinking I'll end it now. So thanks of you who are watching. I guess I'll see you next time. Um, Peace out. Yeah. How do I end this thing? Uh, oh, here you go.